Foros, Crimea, Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic, Wednesday, 21 August 1991, 9 a.m. local time. Mikhail Sergeyevich Gorbacheved, General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, Chairman of the Presidium of the Supreme Soviet, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, and Protector of the Realm. Wait, that's not right. Scratch that last part. Who's in the middle of a nice family vacation at his Crimean dacha, when all of a sudden some army generals show up and inform him that the place is surrounded, he is now under house arrest, he may not communicate with the outside world, and moreover, he is no longer the leader of the Soviet Union. Meanwhile, the co-conspirators up in Moscow announced to the nation that Gorbachev's having a bit of a health issue, let's say, and he needs to stand down and take some time off. And then they get down to the work of seizing the organs of state power and replacing Gorbachev's government with a government that's more to the military's liking. And it's an event that's since become known to history as the coup of August 1991, but it wound up being a pretty underwhelming coup, all things considered. The plotters lacked any broad public support, so the thing peters out pretty quickly after a few days with the famous scenes that you may have seen of the shelling of the Defense Ministry building and Yeltsin screaming on top of a tank and all that good stuff. Now, why do I bring this up? Because I'm not entirely sure we didn't just see Joe Biden get Gorbachev. There's a lot of people right now who are unconvinced that Biden isn't either incapacitated, that is to say more incapacitated than usual, or, in fact, already deceased. And I wouldn't be remiss if I didn't mention the rumors, which are still just rumors at this point, let's be clear on that, but Laura Loomer was the first to report it based on her contacts in the Las Vegas PD, that on Wednesday night in Vegas, Biden suffered either a stroke or a mini stroke, and they did basically an emergency evac back to the East Coast, during which Air Force One flew well in excess of its normal cruising speed, such that the flight took 30 minutes less than usual. They took him straight to Delaware. He struggled to egress the airplane and ingress the car, and when I say he had trouble ingressing the car, if you haven't seen the video, a Secret Service agent actually has to lift the president's legs into the vehicle. Again, that was last Wednesday night, and we have not seen any evidence of life from Joe Biden since then. On Thursday, they told us he was self-isolating with the China virus, and by Sunday, he was dropping out of the race, whether he knew it or not. All we have is a photograph of a letter that was posted on Twitter. And by yesterday, a lot of people were saying, I think we'd feel better if you could give us some evidence that the man is still among the living. Like, we'd settle for a Polaroid of Joe holding up today's newspaper. And apparently, the questions got loud enough that they did make some effort at that. So on Monday afternoon, in pretty hilarious fashion, they provided something resembling Joe Biden proof of life, but I am saving that for the main segment, so you'll have to stay tuned. Now, suppose you were the White House press secretary, and suppose your boss, the president, just announced, allegedly, that he is standing down for re-election. And suppose this happened on a Sunday. Wouldn't it be kind of a no-brainer that the White House press secretary damn sure better hold a press briefing on Monday morning? And if there was some unforeseeable circumstance where you couldn't do a briefing on Monday morning, the day after the president quit, wouldn't you make extra damn sure you did a briefing on Tuesday morning? Or, alternately, would you just run off to New York to go do a nice softball interview with Joy and Whoopi on The View? Well, that's exactly what our girl Baghdad Buckwheat did, and I think, frankly, I have run out of adjectives to describe the hubris of these people. What sort of press secretary would even contemplate not holding a briefing the day after the president quit? Like, do you actually think going on The View suffices in lieu of being at work doing your damn job? Newsflash, it doesn't. And do you think this is going to make the press corps very happy? You already were kind of on thin ice with those guys as it was, as I remember, but hey, who the hell am I to lecture the first black, gay, female, lesbian, homosexual woman of color ever to lie badly on behalf of a semi-animated cadaver?